hanging with us on Top 3 today. I'm Larissa here with Rich and our guest of the hour. He goes by many names. You may know him as Esteban Pineda or Steve, if you want to go all American, you know. But he's a pastor from Victory Outreach and the West Coast Urban Training Center. And man, this guy, besides braving the taco stands in LA.
Yes, I go where no man has gone before.
Exactly. Has an incredible ministry reaching those people and youth that have been in drug and gang lifestyles and is turning them for soldiers for Christ. I love this. Welcome, Esteban, for hanging with us. Or Steve, you can call him.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Steve if you don't mind, because I'll probably mess up Esteban or Esteban. Or
you're from Miami.
Cool. Yeah, I know. I should be better at it, man, but I'll probably mess it up.
That's true.
Well, here's the funny thing. Even though you're in downtown LA, and I know you grew up in California, you ended up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and that's how you got involved with this ministry. Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually, what's funny, I was just a young man fresh out of high school, and it was kind of one of those, what am I going to do with my life kind of thing. And when I said, you know what, I really want to go into full-time ministry, there was this training center. We had no idea what it was. We opened up back in 1998. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I want to get trained for the ministry. This is what I love. This is my passion, just like the Apostle Paul. I'm addicted to the ministry. And I said, you know, I'm going to go for it. And so back in 98, I went. I was there for a year. And ever since then, I haven't looked back.
Now, Steve, what's always kind of led you towards, I mean, I guess the inner city and whatnot? A lot of people want to go to the ministry, but their first place isn't to go to the gangsters, the drug addicts.
That's true.
How has that kind of become part of your makeup or even your DNA?
Was that part of your story at all?
Actually, part of my story, personally, no. Yeah. Actually, I'm totally different. I wanted to be a baseball player. I wanted to be a millionaire. I mean, I had totally different aspirations.
Yeah. And your father was a pastor,
Yeah,
too.
my father was a pastor, and he was involved. So actually, I think that's where my compassion came from, because my father was a drug addict. He was a heroin addict for many years. He was in and out of jail, in and out of prison. I still have currently family right now in prison, locked up. I've had a cousin of mine who passed away from gang violence. I mean, you name it, I can go up and down the ladder with family of prostitution, pimps, I mean, just involved in that type of inner city lifestyle. So being around that, even though not having the aspirations, when you're around it enough, just like when Jesus said, hey, you got to go out there, see them. And I think my heart developed a compassion for them. I said, I got to reach the gang member. I got to reach the drug addict, because there's not a lot of people doing it. So I have to be there. I don't want to see another one of my cousins. I don't want to see another one of my uncles. So my heart reached out. I said, I got to do this. I'll do whatever it takes. And from then on, I said, this is my life.
For sure.
Well, we're going to see a clip in a little bit. Tell us what we're going to see and kind of what the training center actually does.
Well, the training center, what we actually do is we train up young men and young women that are real young, 18 to 25 to 30 years old, that still say, you know what, I want to do something effective for God in my life. And so we utilize that time. We have that time where we're able to come and just get together, get these young men and get these young women and mold them and shape them. And that's actually one of our slogans, shaping leaders for the future. And so we're real excited about that. So what you're about to see is that right there on the street corners. We're in Texas, we're in New York, we're in Chicago, just out there preaching the gospel where no one's at, late at night in the midnight hours. Matter of fact, you're even going to see it's late night. Guys just from head to toe in tattoos and driving their cars and drinking. And we go right there, right in the middle while they're driving. And they got a beer in one hand, but we hand them a Bible in the other hand. And that's one of the things that we do.
And you brought along a couple of friends that have magically appeared on our sofa who have actually been involved with a lot of that ministry that everybody's just seen right now. We have Christian Garcia and Priscilla Olivera. And you guys are currently in the Urban Training Center program, right? Yes, and both of you guys, I got a chance to get to know you guys a little earlier, and you have incredible stories. So let's start with Christian. You came out from Vegas.
Yes, ma'am.
But before you even became a Christian, what was your life like?
Well, like I grew up in a poverty level. You know, at the age of 6, I was sexually abused as a child. You know, I grew up, my mom was a drug addict, so I kind of strayed away. So at the age of 12, I started getting in trouble even more. So I did 6 years in and out of jail. I paroled at a CYC Youth Correctional Facility at the age of 14, and I didn't stop there. You know, I caught a murder case at the age of 18. I was facing 4 to 10 years, and then I just got tired of living that lifestyle. So I asked God, I said, God, if you're real, if you can change me, I'll serve you for the rest of my life. So that's how I got involved into Victory Outreach by somebody else in the street ministry.
Wow, that's incredible. And how old are you now?
I'm 23 now.
You're 23. I mean, you're still really young, and yet you've gone through all that, but it's incredible that you've come this far.
Yes.
And Priscilla, you've got a little bit of a different story, but you know, still you grew up in Southern California, Orange County.
Yes, right. I'm from Santa Ana. We have some things that are similar. I was also sexually abused. I grew up in a house where I would watch my dad beat my mom. And so I grew up with only my mom after they both separated. But because of the sexual abuse, I went into homosexuality, I went into drug addiction, and the drug addiction just took over my life. I was addicted to methamphetamine for 3 years.
And how old were you back then?
It started in junior high.
Wow.
So all that just kept getting heavier and heavier, the addiction, taking me to sleeping on the streets and doing whatever I had to do to keep myself on that high.
And what was the turning point for you?
Well, I went into the women's home. That's another, it's a rehabilitation house that our ministry offers. And I went in with my own plans thinking I'm gonna get clean just for a week, then I'm gonna go back out because I'm not done with this. I had already said in my mind, if I die in the streets, that's fine with me, as long as my addiction gets fed. But when I found out that Jesus died for me and that he loved me, a love that couldn't be taken away from me, that's when my life just changed. Everything else was taken, so.
Wow, that's incredible. And now you guys are at the Urban Training Center. What have you been learning, Christian, since you've been there?
You learn a lot. Like we've been taught a lot about leadership qualities, how to grow passion for those people that are hurting out there, and even building character, not just spiritually, but just having that foundation. So when we go back to our cities, we're able to carry on what has been imparted. Because a lot of people don't get privileged to be able to come to the training center, but we're able to impart on what we learned there.
What was the point for you, Priscilla, in terms of after meeting Jesus that you said, you know what, not only do I just want to be a follower of Jesus, but I actually want to go and be a part of spreading who Jesus is and go into full-time ministry? What was that turning point for you? How did that all occur?
Well, our ministry really pumps the nations. It's the world for Christ, not only just the cities, not just only our inner cities, but the inner cities across the universe, across the world. So that it's through our ministry where I catch the heart for the nations, for the mission field, for just serving God for life and everything that I do.
And what would you say, Steve, in terms of, I mean, you got some guys here and gals as well that are going out and going to ministry. What keeps you guys going every day? What motivates you? I think people are watching right now, and I think maybe some people want to go, oh, I'll go do that for a week or two, or maybe even a little bit of time. That's fun, but like, you're there, you live in it day in and day out. You wake up, I mean, every gang member you get saved, there's 5 more to go back out and still reach. I'm saying, what motivates you guys, I think, to keep going?
Well, I think one thing I learned from my father is that there's never, never not any sinners out there. There's plenty of sinners to go around.
Sure.
So as long as there's sinners that are out there, that means the gospel needs to be preached.
Amen.
And so that keeps me going, knowing that where there is no God, I got to put God in there. I got to make sure that God gets in there, whether it's the gang, the homeless, or wherever, making sure that the gospel is being preached.
And Priscilla, you said that the nations is really your heart, and you were just saying, how many different urban training centers are there? It's not just one in LA.
No, there's not just one. That's our West Coast campus. We have an East Coast campus in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We have one in Mexico, in Rosarito, and then also we have one in Cape Town, South Africa.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Oh man, it's awesome out there.
It is all the nations.
Yeah, it is. It's a nationwide international ministry. We love it.
Well, as we're kind of closing out our interview, what are some things that you would really want everyone at home to realize, I think, especially for the next generation, in terms of how we can better touch this world?
Well, I really believe that it's our time as young men and young women to really preach the gospel like it's never been preached before. I mean, we have the opportunity that the past generations didn't with the internet and everything. I think it's really our time to really rise up and go out there and really take part in this and preaching the gospel. There was a rap song, I think by Lecrae. He said, no one's going out on missions this summer. Rather sit at home and watch Exhibit, pimping a Hummer. It's not about that stuff. It's about preaching the gospel. Get up off the couch, get what God has given you, and tell the nation about it. Tell the world about it.
That's good.
Well, thank you guys for coming here. Tell us where we can find more about your Urban Training Center website.
Yeah, we have a website, www.victoryoutreach.org, also voutc.org. And you can click on us. We have the Los Angeles, there's Bridgeport. It's all right there. You can find us on any sort of those web pages. We have a YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. Just look up West Coast Urban Training Center. There's so many websites. That's a great thing
sure.
about it. You
Come
can
on.
pretty much click anywhere and you're going to
You're gonna
find
And I know
yourself.
you're a heavy blogger too.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it.
Well, thank you guys so much. We got a lot more top 3 coming your way. Stick around.